All right, let's try this again. So, the first time I tried to do the stream, I messed up the camera and wasn't really showing my desktop the whole time. And then after that, my connection just died. So, uh, so let's try this again. Um, I don't know, my cell phone. So, I work out of my car mostly, and I've got 5G, so performance is usually pretty good, but right now for some reason I only have 2 bars when I usually have got like full signal. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. Um, so I guess quickly to review, so I'm trying to hack more stuff into the Centro Slack integration, and what I want to do is tap more into how it sends platform events. So I've got this confirm label button that when you click it, it sends a platform event. And what I did was, well, let me just show you the platform event quick. So I'm going to use Workbench to get into that. And I'll go to, well, I'm already on the page, but to get to this, you do streaming push topics. And then you have to tell it it's a generic subscription, and then you have to put in the path to your event. So this is event, and then Centro action. Just copy that, paste it in here. Okay, so now we can see messages. So now in Slack, when I press that action, I see a message pop up in here. So the fields that you have on here, I mean, are pretty much defined by what fields are here. And what I've done was tapped into the API name, and instead of just saying confirm, I've also put in the record ID so that I could then write a flow or a process builder that taps into this event and can do like special logic based on it. So I'll show you how I got that value in there. So in the flow, first I created the record ID as an input variable. So this has to be marked as input, and it has to be named like exactly this with a lowercase r and uppercase I, so that when you run the flow as a button, Salesforce will just like magically pass that in. If you were to run it as a flow as a component on the side here, then in the definition of this component, you can tell it which. Well, you have to tell it to populate that record ID with something. So you do that in the configuration of this record ID. But for buttons, it needs to just be that magic value. So then when we call the Centro message to Slack, what I did was just appended the API name like that. So I imagine instead of just like having all that like this text in here, I probably could have created like a new resource and done like a variable or a text template and had that logic in there instead of just embedding it deep down inside of this action. Uh, so yeah, so that was it. Oh, I posted another video to get the custom buttons to show up here on a case. I had to turn off feed tracking. But Bailey had pointed out in the comments that there is another way to do it, and that is I think he's referring to if you use the uh, dynamic actions, I think they call it, then you can basically have very granular control over what buttons show up in that highlight panel. And it's kind of a newer feature, and I just didn't think about it, but it's pretty powerful because then you can, like, I could hide and show that button based on other criteria. Looks like maybe my internet died again. Oh, here it comes. Internet kind of died there, I think. So when I had come in here before, there was a box here that said, "Hey, upgrade to dynamic actions." And if I had done that, then I'd be able to come in here, do add action, and then you can add all those buttons that you defined. So I did that and then moved it up to the top. And then this is where I could add, if I wanted to, I could add a filter that says only show it under certain situations. So thank you, Bailey, for that tip. Um, and I guess my next step would be to write another flow that handles the platform event that comes back. Uh, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow. All right, that's all I got. Have fun, everyone.